Good morning. How are you today? Well, it is a beautiful day in Virginia, and it's great to be on the trail. Temperatures in the 70s, no special wind, and I can hear the cicadas are waking up. So let's see. I think if you think of what happened yesterday and today as going from the White House to the Hill to the Supreme Court, it's a fair way to think about the developments. I say the White House because we had the signing of the Juneteenth bill, making the 19th the day that freedom was announced for the slaves as a national holiday. And that's exciting. And it's a great symbolism. And there hasn't been anything like it since Martin Luther King a very long time ago. That is, that we declared his holiday. And, it's been announced as bipartisan. And that sticks in my craw a little bit, because when we say it's bipartisan, it is with what intent and with what collateral conduct that proves you mean it. So, for example, let's choose an extreme case. One congressman, he voted against Juneteenth becoming a national holiday because it's just a plot. It's a plot to replace the 4th of July with Juneteenth. Well, it's ridiculous. We have other national holidays, President's Day and things like that, and they haven't replaced 4th of July. And I guess John Adams was right when he said it would be a special day forevermore in America. And it has been. So there's that. But that's just a hint of the bias on the Republican side. Now, symbols can be transparent to transcendence. That is, they can be a pathway for our soul and mind to go on to something greater and better. In this context, what would be greater and better? Well, the conduct that would conform with Juneteenth would be to pass the Floyd bill, which has to do with systemic racism, or to do something about the voting bills across the country, which are to suppress black vote, among others. And that would say something substantially. And it's very interesting. We have Republicans saying, we need bipartisan support, say on voting, for example. Manchin's out there, in my opinion, just filling up space, working on a bipartisan proposal. Well, he proposed one, and he says Republicans and Democrats can support this. And no sooner did he say it than McConnell shot it down, McConnell being the minority member representing the Republicans in the Senate. So what does it mean for the Republicans who voted for Juneteenth? Nothing, in my opinion. They didn't mean it, and they're hoping to buy cover in the midterm saying, yeah, but I supported Juneteenth, but not any of these other things. And there were reasons. I didn't want to tax the rich. We don't need it. The voting is okay. Lies. What we've gotten used to in terms of the disinformation campaigns by which Republicans hold on to offices that do not directly coincide with the electoral vote, meaning those who would and could and should vote, and who would they decide to have. And in many cases, it wouldn't be Republicans. And that's why they suppress the vote, because of their sick agenda. Manchin, he's like enemy number one in the Democratic committee in the Senate, and for what he represents by his misconduct across the nation. He becomes the face of the Democrat who really doesn't want to support Democratic propositions. And that's very hard to embrace. And then hopping from the Hill to the Supreme Court, one of the things that still concerns me, is the opinion yesterday about whether Catholic services could prevent same-sex couples from being in the foster care program. Now, the city of Philadelphia said, no way, you can't do that, and cited provisions against discrimination, and said you can't have a contract with the city to forward children for foster care when you discriminate. And they found out in their hearings that not only did they discriminate in this way, each potential foster parent must forward a letter from their religious organization, from their church or I guess synagogue, whatever, temple, and that is a screening mechanism that is religious. I think it's an establishment of religion. So what happened in the trial court? In the trial court, the CSS, the Christian organization, Roman Catholic, they asked to, allow them to continue to work in foster care. And it was their First Amendment right. But as the lower court said, well, we're not infringing on your religion, but you are, with state money and approval and a regulatory system, you are discriminating. And we can't be sanctioning your discrimination on a public program. In addition, it's very interesting for them to assert, that is CSS, that this is a religious belief or Catholic belief. The Pope, I think reluctantly, issued a controversial statement that same-sex marriages, families, were okay. He preferred civil unions. So where exactly are they getting their religious belief? From a local biased, bigoted archdiocese? That's not acceptable. That is what's going on, but that's not acceptable. So the Court of Appeals, Federal Court of Appeals, upheld the lower court. It said, no, we can't have this. You can't go and establish a religion. You cannot use religion as a means in a public program to discriminate against same-sex couples. But the Supreme Court came along and they said, the city wasn't so pure, and they granted exceptions in certain cases. Yeah, but none like this ever. And it was a way for the Supreme Court to, I guess they feel they're hiding their differences by making bad law with different people writing dissents or concurring opinions, rather, that support the result but don't support the thinking that should go into it. That is, whether or not this is an infringement on an exercise of religion rather than an establishment of religion. I believe it's the latter. The lower court, trial court, Court of Appeals believed it was the latter. And yet this Supreme Court, by 9-0, said, yeah, go ahead, discriminate. And they tried to limit it to its special facts. And then we had the extremists like Gorsuch who said, we should have come out and said that what Scalia said years ago about hindrances to religion are not acceptable. We should have thrown that out, meaning religion can do anything. So that's my pathway from the White House to the House to that shining building across the street, the Supreme Court. So it's really gorgeous out here. I hope it is where you are. And I'll be talking to you on the weekend. Talk to you tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.